Hi, this is Jillian with another episode of Social Media Easy Peasy, because marketing your small business with social media should be easy peasy. Today we're going to talk about LinkedIn, which is our favorite platform for doing social media. And the reason why we liked LinkedIn so much is because LinkedIn, quite frankly, is the place to be if you want to market your business online. And it's actually really hard to do social media. It takes a lot of effort. And so our recommendation to everybody, including ourselves, is to pick one social media channel and really do it well. If you have a lot of energy, then you can branch out and do other ones as well. For us, we have a lot of things that we do. We decided we could only play on one platform at a time, and LinkedIn is it for us. Today I want to talk to you about where you're at with your LinkedIn journey, because this is a really important part of marketing your online business. So this video today all started as a result of me sitting around this past weekend reading a book. And I was reading a book by John Espirian called Content DNA. It's an awesome book. I got the pre-order. I know John through LinkedIn. He's a fabulous guy to follow on LinkedIn, and his book is just as fabulous as he is. So much information in here. If you are somebody who is interested in taking your content marketing up a notch, you really want to get John's book. So while I was reading the book this weekend, I was reading one chapter in particular, which was chapter 19, about consuming, contributing, and creating. And John was talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is his favorite platform to be on as well. And in this chapter, he talks about some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. So I wanted to give credit to John for giving me the inspiration of making this video. I got it from reading his great book. Think about LinkedIn and think about where you're at with your LinkedIn journey. And you might be in several different places depending on how long you've been on LinkedIn, or maybe you're not even on LinkedIn at all. And I'm hoping by the end of this video you'll actually consider being on LinkedIn if you're not, and if you are on LinkedIn, I'm hoping that you're going to consider kind of moving along your journey and being a little bit further than where you are today. So why even bother joining LinkedIn in the first place? LinkedIn is the place to be if you're a small business. LinkedIn is also really good for people who are looking for a job. So I encourage everybody, whether you're looking for a job or you're trying to market your business, LinkedIn has something for you. But most importantly, I think it's there for us who are trying to market our business online. So let's take a look at some of LinkedIn's stats. First of all, 660 million members belong to LinkedIn, and 200 countries across the globe. Now, these are stats as of November 2019, so I'm sure that the numbers are a lot higher than that, but that's the most recent number that I have. This is amazing. 2 new members join every second. So there are always new people joining LinkedIn. It's a thriving social media platform that's just growing and growing each and every day. 91% of marketing executives use LinkedIn as a content source. So if you have content, and content can be anything, it can be a blog article, it can be just a text post, a graphic post, a video. Think of what you would like to share. That's content. So 91% of marketing executives are using LinkedIn as a content source. So that's where people are going to as their go-to place to learn about things. That's awesome. Now, here's a stat that's kind of crazy. Out of all the people that are accessing LinkedIn, only 1% of users are posting content weekly, which is amazing. So you think of 660 million people on LinkedIn, and yet only 1% are putting the content out there. That means there's a lot of room on LinkedIn. So if you can create content, this is the place to be. So let's talk about where you may be at in your LinkedIn journey. Maybe you're not even a member yet at all. To be a member is really easy. You just sign up for an account, doesn't cost you anything, just give your email address and off you go. So the first level that everybody starts at is you're going to be a basic member. And when you're a basic member, the primary focus is You just want to get out there. You probably going to focus on making connections, because LinkedIn is something where you want to be connected to people. You don't want to just kind of go in and stand around, because essentially nobody is going to read your content if you're not connected to people. So most of us get onto LinkedIn and we start building connections. Start with people you know. Start with everybody you've known in business. Start with your people you went to college with, if you went to college, other businesses that you've been in, just families, friends, anybody you can think of. Start building a network with LinkedIn. Ideally, you want to kind of aim to be up to about 500 connections. That's kind of where LinkedIn really starts to take off for you. So in the beginning, you're kind of not too picky. You want to just get out there and build yourself up. And you also want to make sure that you have all the basics on your profile filled out so that people know who you are and when you're starting to build yourself up. As a basic member profile, it's probably going to need some work. Most people start LinkedIn, they just don't know what to do. They just turn it into a giant resume. And that's okay to start. Just start wherever you have to. It's not brain surgery, folks. Just put down some places that you worked before. Put down a little description about yourself. Don't worry too much, because you can always go back and change it later. Now, the thing that I will tell you is don't be a blank head, meaning make sure that you have a nice picture of yourself. The more professional, the better. This is not one where you really want to take it with the dog or with the kids or that sort of thing. This isn't Facebook. Just have something that represents who you are. Mine's crazy. I have sunglasses on, so I am a little bit outside the box here. But you want to try and have a nice professional photo, or just something that is business-like. Next, you don't want to have the blue background. You want to have something on your profile that represents your business. If you have the blank head and the blue background, most people don't think you're serious and are probably not likely to connect with you. Those are the two things we really stress to people. There's a great place called Peasy where you can go and get a royalty-free and commercial-free photos that you can use, and you can use that for your background cover. You don't have to do anything fancy. Again, that's something kind of for a second day. So just get something, like if you're in banking, maybe you want to get something that, just shows an office or a bank or, whatever. Doesn't really matter. As you move beyond the basic, being a basic member of LinkedIn, you become what's called, in John's book, a consumer. And a consumer is sort of that first level of LinkedIn where you're really starting to get involved. You're the person who is going on to LinkedIn as a purpose. You're going and you're looking through the news feed, you're reading articles, you're checking the news, and this is kind of that gateway to LinkedIn. So at this point, you're going through, and we suggest that you have to get some good things to make your news feed interesting. Some of the things that we suggest is join some groups. Join some groups in industries that you're interested. For instance, we're in a lot of marketing groups because marketing is interesting to us. Video is very interesting to us. I'm personally interested in Toastmasters, so I like to do a lot of things on public speaking and Toastmasters, those type of things. So find groups that you would find of interest and join those, because it just gives you information that you will begin to see in the newsfeed that you'll find of interest. Another thing too is to follow people. Follow people and follow hashtags. And follow people, what that means is you'll start to come across people that you might think, they might have some interesting things that I would like to read. And you can follow people. You're not connecting with them. They don't have to give you permission. For instance, I would suggest everybody follow John Esperian. He is a wealth of information about LinkedIn. I learned so much just by following John. And then eventually I got to know John, I connected with John, and we became friends. So that is sort of how it works on LinkedIn. Start off by following people. You simply just click on the follow button, and from there you'll begin to see anything that they post will show up in your newsfeed. Now, you're not restricted to just people. You can also follow hashtags. So if there's a hashtag of a topic that you find interesting, for instance, I like things about video marketing, I like things about Zoom, I like things about YouTube, those could be some of the hashtags that I follow, which means that if somebody posts something, even if I'm not related to them, I might begin to see their posts in my newsfeed. So that's a good way as well to get more things in your newsfeed that you're going to find interesting so that you can become a better consumer on LinkedIn. Now, I will just give a caveat that at this point, you've moved up into LinkedIn and you really want to start making now some purposeful connections. So if you're at sort of that 500 limit at this point, you can keep going up and up and up with LinkedIn, but you'll start to find that the more people that you connect with, now you're starting to get a lot of people that maybe they're not necessarily for you. So you might want to figure out, are they your ideal client? Are they somebody that would be a good connector for you? Do you even care what they're posting about? So you're going to start to get a little bit more selective on who you are now connecting with. Because you have to remember with LinkedIn that when you connect with somebody, not only are they connecting with you, they're able to connect with all your connections. So I kind of like to guard my connections. I don't just want to connect with everybody and anybody on LinkedIn. I'm kind of selective. So I suggest that you do the same. Now, if you're one of those people who's been on LinkedIn for a while but has just never done anything, and yet you have thousands of connections, I actually might suggest that you go through your connections and start unfollowing people. Now, that's not the same as disconnecting. Unless somebody's like really not a good person, I would never suggest that you disconnect, that you unconnect with them. However, if they're not of interest to you, I would suggest that you might want to unfollow them so that you're no longer having their posts cluttering up your newsfeed. So think about it. If you had 25,000 connections and all of their content was going into your newsfeed, and yet you didn't know them, you didn't like them, you didn't care what they're talking about, it's going to make it very crowded and very noisy for you. So you might want to go through and start unfollowing people, and that way they'll still see your stuff, but you won't see their stuff. And the nice thing about unfollowing people is that they don't even know that you unfollowed them. So you don't even have to worry about hurting people's feelings. You just want to make sure your news feed is appropriate for you. So now you've gone from basic to consumer. The next level in your journey on LinkedIn is that you might actually become a contributor. And a contributor is somebody who's kind of moves out of that, what's the phrase? Lurkers, maybe we want to call them lurkers. People who read things but never comment. They're just kind of the silent partners on LinkedIn. So once you become a contributor, you're actually starting to engage with people. You're starting to join in the conversation. I always liken it to being invited to some sort of social mixer. You're going from being the person that's standing on the outside looking in the window to the person who's actually walking into the room, going up, introducing themselves, meeting people, chatting with people. This is what you want to do as a contributor. And at this point, you're engaging with other people, you're making comments in the news feed, and you're sending messages to other members. Now, as a contributor, you're still a consumer, so you're just going to still continue to be a consumer. But the interesting thing is now you're starting to engage in comments. And that means that when you see a post in the newsfeed, if it resonates for you, if you have something to say, you want to join in the conversation, then what we suggest is make a comment. Just type a comment in. Make sure it's something of substance. You don't want to just say, good job. You want to have something a little bit more than that. And also too, you want to monitor your messages and your notifications in LinkedIn. So if somebody sends you a direct message, just sort of one-to-one, you want to make sure that you respond to those messages so that people know that you're approachable, you want to talk with people. But also too, monitor your notifications, because if you have made a comment on somebody's post, It might be that somebody else comments on your comment. And so you want to keep the conversation going. So you might want to go back in and click the notification that will tell you so-and-so left a comment or so-and-so liked what you said, something along those lines, so that you can keep that conversation going. And it's just a really nice way to stay as part of the engaged community on LinkedIn. One thing I would also recommend at this point as you're a contributor is to start thinking about endorsing other people. And what that means is anybody that you're connected with, you can go to their profile and you can see under endorsements that they have listed particular skills that they want to be known for. Perhaps it could be blogging or public speaking or sales. If you know those people in that capacity, whether you just know them through, talking with them on LinkedIn or whatever, you might want to endorse them for the skill. And you don't have to write anything. It's like you're just kind of giving them like a thumbs up. And the more thumbs up they get endorsed for those skills, it makes them look good. And what I found is it's kind of a two-way street. Never expect people to endorse you. But if you endorse somebody, LinkedIn will send them a message and say, so-and-so just endorsed you for blog writing. A lot of times people will just reciprocate. They'll like, wow, that was really nice of him or her. And they'll go and check out your profile and they might go and see what they can endorse you for. So number one, it's good to always have some skills that you'd like to be endorsed for so that other people can see those. And also, too, it's just a nice thing to do. So don't ever expect anything back. Some people will never endorse you because they just don't. They're busy. They didn't see it. They don't even know how to do it. So don't worry about it if they don't. But in the meantime, it's a really nice thing for you to do with everybody that you're connected with. And last but not least, give recommendations. If you have worked with somebody perhaps on a project, maybe you used to be employed with them, for them, under them, they worked for you, etc. A recommendation is actually a formal written review. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but think of it as like if you were giving somebody a book review on Amazon, just great goodwill that you can give out. So again, endorsements are quick and easy. Recommendations take a little bit more time, but it's definitely a good thing to do if you consider yourself a contributor in your LinkedIn journey. And while you're a contributor, please remember to continue being a consumer. We don't just become a contributor and then we're at a whole new stage. We're still being a consumer as well. So you want to continue reading posts in the newsfeed because after all, how can you contribute to the conversation if you're not listening in the first place? Next up, after being a contributor, is being a creator. Now, if you remember back to those stats I started this presentation with, the stats were only 1% of the 660 million people on LinkedIn will ever become creators. Creators are the folks that are actually have a plan. They are putting content out there on LinkedIn. So whether that's text posts, graphic posts, maybe they're putting articles on LinkedIn, like their blog articles on their website. Maybe they're creating videos. We found for the most part, video content, that's the king on LinkedIn. That gets the most feedback. But content can be anything, and we do recommend that you have a plan. Be consistent. It's better to start small and be consistent and say, even if you have a goal of once a week to contribute something on LinkedIn, that's really great than going, 6 things in a row and then nobody ever hears from you again for 6 months. So you want to be consistent. Only tackle as much as you feel you honestly can do. As a creator, the most important thing is you want to create content that's valuable for your prospective people that will be seeing on LinkedIn. So these would be your connections. And ideally, this is your ideal client and connectors that maybe can lead to your ideal client, or just people that might be your friends and your colleagues in the business world. So you always want to create content that's valuable, that's not too salesy. Social media is not the place that you want to drive your sales. Social media is usually focused on brand awareness. This is where you want people to get to know, like, and trust you. And once you've done that, then get them onto your website to look at whatever your products, your services are at that point. And that's when you become salesy. Although I actually recommend never get salesy. Just solve people's problems and they'll sell themselves. Always have a call to action. Always begin with the end in mind. What is the action that you want people to take after watching something or reading something or seeing something? You want to have a specific call to action. That's what CTA stands for, call to action. And sometimes it can just be as simple as, let me know in the comment below what you thought about this. Was this do you have a good idea for this? Has this ever happened to you? Does this also frustrate you? It doesn't always have to be, now go read my article on LinkedIn, or check out my profile, or connect with me, or it doesn't have to be that directed. It can just be a very subtle, give me a comment, let me know what you think, something as simple as that. But always have that call to action. Another thing too is that if you have joined groups, become a person who engages in the groups, and actually you might even want to think about setting up your own group, because this is a good way to, again, be somebody that people will know, like, and trust. So a group is a great way to create something on LinkedIn. As you become a creator, we do suggest that you continue to be a contributor and a consumer. So again, you're just kind of adding a new skill. It doesn't replace it. So it's not like once you become a creator, it's like, oh, you don't have to go do the other stuff. Yes, you do. You have to be all in on LinkedIn on every single level. So you just want to continue to do the same, but now you're adding a new skill, which is creating content and being part of that 1% that everybody else is reading their stuff. So that's pretty exciting. Now, we do suggest that you do have some sort of content strategy. It can be just as simple as, like, maybe you do one text post, you do a graphic post. If you write a blog for your website, take that blog post a couple of days after it's published, copy the information, and put it out on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn article. You don't want to just link to your blog, because LinkedIn doesn't like you to just send people off the platform. You're much better using LinkedIn's internal blog program and to actually post and duplicate what you have on your website. Just put it in LinkedIn. And people, when they go to your profile, they'll see those articles that you've written. So it, again, gives you some authority and makes you look really good. We suggest that you aim for probably no more than 2 or 3 times a week. That's a really good place to start. I don't even know if I do that. I'm kind of like the halfway between the contributor and the creator. I am, I'm not at the top of the food chain here by any means. I'm kind of like still finding my own way in LinkedIn. Pick a plan that works for you. I find that maybe two times a week, that's enough for me. I don't really need to do more than that. Try and space it out. Today I goofed. I did 2 things the same day, and I haven't done anything for a couple days. But that's okay. It's a forgiving platform. There's no hard rules that it's like, it has to be Monday and Wednesday or anything like that. But it's good to just have a guideline of what you like to do, so that you don't have to go, oh, what am I doing this week? Just find a pattern that works for you, and then commit to it and go with it. No matter where you are on your LinkedIn journey, we would love you to join us. We have started a LinkedIn group called Marketing Easy Peasy with Launch for Life. And our goal is to make this a community, a small community, because LinkedIn is a big place with 660 million people. It's a big place, and it's very, very easy to get lost on LinkedIn. A lot of us start off on LinkedIn and we just feel like we're bumbling along and we don't know anybody, and it feels like everybody knows the rules but you. And so what we're hoping is, with our Marketing Easy Peasy with Launch for Life, we're hoping that this will be a community where we can help each other. It's dedicated to online marketing. We want to help and support everybody with easy peasy marketing tips. And it will cover everything. Our specialty is video marketing, but we're going to cover the gamut. Anything to do with online marketing, we can support you. This is a place where you can come, you can ask for advice, you can ask for tips, you can if you post a video and you want people to come check it out, come to the group and say, hey, I posted this video. Could everybody go check it out, see what you think? This is a place where we're going to try and have some Zoom meetings so that we could get together and maybe mastermind and talk about different topics, all sorts of different things. So we want our community to be something that everybody supports, that we get together, that we support one another, that we just have fun and engage with each other, and just find a place that you don't feel like you're just one fish swimming in the sea. Fish swim in schools because the ocean is big and deep, and it just feels more comfortable when we're together swimming as a little group. So we really hope that you'll consider joining Marketing Easy Peasy with Launch for Life. And if you'd like to join us, here is the group. It's just bit.ly, so bit.ly/marketing easy peasy L4L. We'll have that in the description below as well, that you can click on, join the group, and bring your friends, and we'd love to have you join us.